weed you wouldn't believe. And I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I met a...
What's up, guys? Greg, you got us muted, buddy. It's still not running.
Can you hear me now?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, we got you. You're here.
All right. Yes. No, my name is Greg Hoyt.
Yes.
And it is official like a referee's whistle. We are here on the breakdown. All right. Yeah. Raymond Duncan said you're muted. I hear Grifty Greg is muted. All right, man. We are good as gold.
I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I can hear you just fine. And I was able to initially hear you, and apparently you can hear me. This is one of the caveat stops associated with live streaming. Sometimes there are issues.
Okay, yes.
So sometimes there are issues with audio, but
okay, so I can hear you on my phone.
Are you able to hear
my Bluetooth? I can hear you on stream.
But you can't hear me
on my phone.
Man, that is nuttier than squirrel shit.
But I can't hear you in studio.
My goodness. That's crazy. Hold on, let me try quick.
Let me back out and come back in.
All right, man, by all means. Anyways, guys, for those who are able to hear me on stream, because apparently you can hear me on stream, and Grifty isn't able to hear me live. And yeah, that comes with the territory sometimes with live streaming. But that being said, we have some really interesting we've got some interesting topics today. Particularly with the introduction of recently passed legislation in Florida that has somehow made Florida Pride Parade organizers want to cancel their event because new laws were passed that prohibit sexually explicit material from being performed in front of minors. I mean that's kind of an interesting thing. We also have a topic today with respect to a former CIA chief testifying under oath that the Biden campaign funded and put forth the letter signed by dozens of Intel officials alleging that the Hunter Biden laptop was phony baloney. Grifty, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I got you.
Awesome.
Sweet. And I'm coming through clear. I think I got my mic situation worked out.
All right. And also we're going to be discussing with respect to with Pride Month on the horizon, just 6-7 weeks away, a Pride advocate, LGBT activist, out of Idaho, and also a school teacher, was arrested for uh, graping. We are going to say it with the letter G, graping.
Graping.
A 16-year-old boy. Uh, and also we have interesting news with respect to the marketing vice president over at Bud Light.
Yeah,
God bless it.
did you see that? I just tweeted that out.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna get my. I'm gonna put on these glasses for this because it's about to get based in here.
Are we doing sunglasses? Hold on. I can do this.
Oh man, yeah, dude. What is it like? We're gonna be. Gosh, who always does the sunglasses? What is it?
Blues Brothers, man.
Well, yeah, there's Blues Brothers, and then there's also our friend
Gene. Gene always
I-
wears the sunglasses.
Yeah, Sir Gene is always on the sunglasses endeavor.
Well, like, so I get why he does it because my light is bright enough, but he has that green screen that he uses, and his green screen's like perfect. And that's because he has like 3 huge studio lights in front of him. He told me, he said the key to doing the green screen thing is to have really bright, crisp lighting. So you might get a good epic Grifty rant out of me a little bit later on that high school teacher subject. I tend to have some hot takes on that situation. It kind of rubs me wrong that if the genders were reversed, everybody would lose their shit over it. But when it happens to a teenage boy, it's, oh man, that'd be cool when I was in school, or he's a loser for turning in his teacher or something like that. That's always the response, and it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I look at that, and when I see that, I look at it as just completely disgusting. If I had a young boy, even a teenage boy, I would not be on the side of folks to be like, oh man, your teacher in her 20s or 30s or what have you decided to get frisky with you. That's so awesome. I'll give you a high five.
Yeah, no, they go into wood chipper too.
Yeah. Like in a case like that, if I had a young boy, adolescent, teenage boy, whatever, and there was a female teacher that were in their 20s, 30s, whatever, number one, I'm going over to the teacher's house to beat them up. And if they have a husband or significant other, I'm just going to beat them up too for good measure.
Yeah,
because it would be along the lines of you should have kept whomever in check. I know that's probably frowned upon, but I think I'm kind of like Bill Burr, where every ass whipping doesn't fall out of the sky when it comes to one administered to a lady.
exactly. They're not all just uncalled for. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
yeah, no, and you hit the nail on the head with that, because I am a father of 2 teenage boys and 1 7-year-old boy. So that's definitely where my anger and vitriol towards that situation comes from. Because
Well, yeah, because you have to. Number one, if you're dealing with a woman in their 20s or 30s or what have you, or older, and they have to seek the accompaniment of a minor boy, number one, that sets off all sorts of red flags with respect to their character, their integrity, and ostensibly in today's society, and as it has been for decades and centuries, it is easier for women, mentally well balanced women, to attract the opposite sex, particularly the opposite sex of the same age or of a higher age.
right.
If
So
they
I
have to
mean,
gravitate toward younger men to the point where they're minors, that tells me there's a lot going on with them that is ostensibly wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's so all right, here's hot take number one. We're gonna talk about some biology for a second. It makes sense. Like early disclaimer, it's wrong. You touch fucking kids on the wall with you. Like, it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
But it biologically, it's ingrained in men to be attracted to youth and fertility
Yeah,
in
the
women.
fertility aspect, yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because there's a clock on fertility that like that an older man to a younger girl at least makes sense on a biological level. Now, societally, we've decided, some places are 17, some places are 18. I think if they can't drink with you at a bar, you ain't got no right fucking messing around with them if you can get into a bar. That tends to be my rule of thumb for, what I kind of find socially acceptable is if both people can go have a drink, then it's no one's business. I'm 12 years older than my fiance, so it's not the end of the world. But I turned 39 today. She's 27. Like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
both grown ups.
Yeah, that's the fact of the matter is, whilst there may be some minute experience-related gaps between the 2 of you, there's not a breadth of emotional maturity gaps
Correct.
between 27 and 39. There are going to be experience gaps, but
And like wisdom gaps and stuff like that. But yeah, there's no maturity gap. Both of
yeah,
us are both of
especially
us are
especially when it
mature grown
becomes
adults.
yeah, especially when it relates to physical autonomy. At
Exactly.
27, you kind of know to a degree what you want to do with your body, and it's not saying that you're not going to make mistakes, but the mistakes are going to be very minor
Right.
in comparison
Exactly.
to,
Now
to what
when
you
you now when you flip that on its head and it's a woman, because it's never the 65-year-old teacher that's banging the high school kid. It's always the 26-year-old right out of college teacher that's banging the high school kid. And I'm sorry, you're not there's no way you're attracted to him. I remember being in high school. High school girls didn't even want to fuck with high school guys because they were so immature.
yeah.
So a grown woman, there's no relationship aspirations there or anything. To me, it is so much more obviously a power dynamic that they're getting off to than anything. Like there's no natural explanation for it. There's no anything like that. It's to me it's more manipulative. It's more sinister almost than the reverse of like the high school gym teacher who bangs the high school girl. Like there's at least like as wrong as it is, like you can at least understand like how an older guy gets that in his head. But when you
Yeah,
flip it
there's a modicum of more understanding as to how the circumstances came to be.
right. But when it's the older woman with the young guy, like it's strictly a manipulation thing. It's strictly there's no other explanation for it.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree with that sentiment. I believe that when it relates to um, older women attempting to seduce minor males, there is, I mean, it across the board, it is completely inappropriate. It's illegal. It's horrible, and I don't think any of the intentions are necessarily good in any of the perpetrators' endeavors. Uh,
Right.
but I do believe that when you're dealing with female predators, they may have arguably more nefarious intent, or
Exactly.
their intent may be more driven by
Malicious.
Yeah.
malicious. They I think they're intending to cause damage. I have a personal theory that a lot of these chicks were ones that were, they're teachers. So they were the nerdy girls in high school. They didn't get any attention from the guys on the football team and stuff like that. And I think in a way it's a sick form of revenge for them to come back and like use this power dynamic to manipulate the high school age boys into helping them relive their lost adolescence
Well,
and
you
stuff
you
like that.
you just encapsulated the storyline and premise of the Drew Barrymore movie from 1999, Never Been Kissed.
Yeah, exactly.
Because what was that? That was Drew Barrymore coming back to high school as an adult, trying to recapture her high school days.
Right.
And in the beginning of the movie, if you remember, she starts dating the popular guy in the
Yep.
high school. But at the time, she was an adult woman engaged with inappropriate relationships with a high school boy. And then, yes, she eventually falls in love with the teacher. But like that movie is so terrible on so many fronts. I mean, it's funny, but it's terrible because it illustrates that, oh, a woman in her mid 20s can go back to high school and seduce a 16, 17-year-old boy.
Yep.
But it's going to be okay because the adult teacher who thinks this child is a minor will seduce her. And so it's like this weird Romeo and Juliet type of thing.
Yep.
It's unnerving what that type of narrative demonstrated. It demonstrated that it was okay for an adult woman to seduce a minor.
Well, that's
And
like
also that movie
that's like
came out
go
well,
ahead.
that movie came out on the heels of a woman that was convicted of getting an adult woman who got convicted of getting impregnated by a 14-year-old boy. That movie came out on the heels of that.
Wow. Wow, yeah, I mean that one's almost as bad as Cruel Intentions. I remember watching Cruel Intentions growing up and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? You
Yeah, that was the
got
one with Ryan Philippe and I think
Sarah Jessica
Sarah Michelle
Parker
Gellar.
or Sarah Michelle Gellar and who else was in it? The little brunette girl that Sarah Michelle Gellar teaches to like basically me too her music teacher into conning him into being into being a relationship with her. And yeah, I mean that movie's just it's so bad. It's so bad. And it was a huge hit back in our day. So
Yeah, yeah, no. I really wish Sir Gene would just pop up, like, thinking that there are people with glasses on a stream somewhere. And it's like, I need to get there. I need to get
yes.
there. Stat. Uh, Now, one thing, I've got a few topics to bring up, but let's go ahead and bring up topic number one. Florida Pride event shutters after learning they can't strip in front of minors. Uh, I mean this is pretty much straightforward. The state of Florida uh, recently passed legislation. It was put before the governor's desk, Governor Ron DeSantis, uh, a bill that updated what is considered to be lewd and lascivious and inappropriate entertainment venues for minors, which include drag queen performances, particularly drag queen performances uh, that include things like personalized interactions, the strip tease kind of endeavors and stuff like that. So a lot of the news stories try to frame this that because of the law, pride events had to be shut down in Florida. But in reality, the pride organizers shut down their events in response to this law being passed.
Oh, so you
Which,
mean the news was disingenuous with how they framed a story?
well,
And
yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Well, what that tells me is the Pride organizers in Florida were worried that, or maybe not worried, but they were anticipating or planning on to have adult males in drag engaged in obscene conduct, sexually obscene conduct in front of minors, which we've seen example after example after example of
All right.
that transpiring at these events.
So do you think it's that they planned on doing it intentionally, or that they don't trust their attendees to be able to control themselves because they're degenerates?
Well, I think it's a mix of both. Number one, if their attendees are going to engage in inappropriate and unlawful behavior based upon codified legislation in Florida, well, the only people who would be held responsible would be the individual exhibitors. However, if those exhibitors were propped up by the Pride event,
If they were on a
then yes,
float or something like that.
yeah, therein lies the caveat. Uh, it suggests that the Pride event was planning on having these people do ostensibly inappropriate acts in front of children, and they
Well,
were and you've
that
seen
that
there have
doesn't
been.
surprise me. That's their modus operandum right now. Like they're playing, they're putting all their cards on the table. There's no, they're not hiding it. They don't know how to not go. They don't know how to not go full retard, to take a line from Tropic Thunder. Like that's just what they do. Like they just go full send all the time. And for the longest time it worked because the media was covering for them. And you had Twitter, that every social media platform out there was censoring people who tried to call attention to it. And like even right now, you still got YouTube, you know, purging videos about Dylan Mulvaney. So we're not gonna talk about Smillan Smallvaney anymore. Um, but yeah, so I mean they still are doing that, but it's just not gonna work anymore because say I hear a lot of people bitching about Elon and Twitter, and like I get it. People thought he was gonna make this thing perfect from Jump Street, but that's your not yours, but like the people who make that argument, like that's their stupidity showing. That's them not understanding how business works. Like he still has to be on the app stores. He still has to. I'm pretty sure Twitter runs on AWS, Amazon Web Services. So he's still got to play ball with them, or they kick him off the App Store and ban him from AWS like they did Parler. And then
Yeah,
it's
no,
just,
I'm not sure if Twitter runs on AWS. I believe they own their own data centers.
do they?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, because Twitter came into existence back in, I believe it was 2007.
Well,
Uh,
I know they own their own servers. Like they run their servers, but I don't know how much of the like middle ground infrastructure they own.
oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised, if their disaster recovery um resides with, some offsite storage that
Right.
does snapshots of their data. Because I remember when I was doing work with eVault, which eventually was swallowed up by Carbonite. I
Okay.
mean, we would work with big businesses that just wanted their data snapshotted,
Right.
um, in the event of a DR incident. But
Got it.
with respect to this Florida Pride event, all right, this was something that was tweeted out, give or take about a week ago, in response to the legislation that really demonstrates where the heart of some of these people are. If you take a look, and this is not a troll account. I reviewed it myself. This Ashley Lynch
Hmm.
character. Um, they do a lot of movie trailer stuff, like they edit movie trailers and what have you. And they're very outspoken with pro LGBT uh, stuff.
Okay.
And so you see right here, they say it's in response to a leading report from April 13th, where it's Florida Senate committee has unanimously passed a bill that would give the death penalty to those who commit S crimes against children. And this person, and they're being very sincere with this. They say, I'm not going to beat around the bush.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
This DeSantis is going full Putin. This is solely so they can start executing LGBTQ plus people. If you're queer and in Florida, get out while you still can. So this individual digested legislation, or not even legislation, but a committee unanimously passing a bill that would pass on capital punishment to those who commit crimes against children, sexual offenses against children. This person digested that as they are attacking the LGBTQ community. So when you see that, what does that tell you in your opinion? What do
Well,
you think when you see that?
it's not shocking. It's like George W. Bush said about the Democrats and black people. It's the soft bigotry of low expectations. It's the same thing. The left, and they do the same thing with blacks in America. The left thinks, okay, gay people are born that way. They can't change it. Gay people are also schmetophiles. Um, and they can't change. They must not be able to change that either. So we can't punish them for just being who they are. So we have to normalize the stuff that people don't like about it. When people like you and me, I when I hear people who do horrible things to children, I don't I mean, we just had a conversation earlier. Like, I think the female high school teacher that does it to the male student is just as bad as the creepy old guy with the candy van that grabs the little boy up. Like, I don't care whether you're straight or gay. Keep your fucking hands off of children.
Yeah, no, and Raymond Duncan just commented. He said completely hysterical and psycho. And you want to know something? I'm inclined to agree. I think the utterings of this Lynch character
Oh yeah, she's a
is
mad woman.
well. Also, we need to take another gander at this. All right, because clearly Lynch is not alone um, in her thoughts. Because if you take a look, it garnered 1,442 likes. 1,442 people agreed with Lynch's characterization of the matter. They saw that Florida was passing a bill, or the Florida Senate passed a bill that would make sure that that would make sure offenders against children could not offend again, for lack of a
Right.
better term. And over 1,400 people looked at that and agreed and said they're attacking the gay community. They looked at that and said, "Oh my gosh, they're attacking the gay community." And this is not even erecting a straw man. This is a logical conclusion. If these people, those 1,400 people and Lynch, draw that from the Senate in Florida, creating that kind of legislation, the logical conclusion is that all those people believe that the gay community, LGBTQ community ostensibly either has a right of access or a predisposed inclination toward children, and that it shouldn't be interrupted.
Exactly. And that's the thing. They they believe that they are those people, and that it's like an weird immutable characteristic for them. So you're not allowed to judge it, which is just bullshit. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's one of the reasons that I've always taken issue with the "born this way" argument ever since I saw that stupid Lady Gaga video,
Right.
and the subsequent arguments that came from it. Oh, I'm born this way, so on and so forth. Yeah, I've always taken issue with that, and yeah, Tardvark, we are absolutely live, and he's giving us a hell yeah, brother. By the way, Grifty, if you're not familiar with Tardvark, he has an awesome YouTube channel, Tardvark HQ. Great content, very very well thought out. He just puts forward some really interesting stuff. I would highly suggest that you check it out. And for those who are watching this live or those who may see this after the fact, I would highly recommend that y'all check out Tardvark HQ on YouTube. It is great. It's at times hilarious. It's thought provoking. So I'm definitely simping for Homeboy right there.
So is it just at Tardvark?
I believe it's at Tardvark. If I had to fathom a guess, I don't think there's anybody else on YouTube that has the Tardvark name.
Yeah, well,
So I'm pretty.
there's 3 channels. I'm wondering if they're just all his or not. I'm gonna subscribe to the biggest one though, the one with 1.5 thousand.
I do believe that's his.
But yeah, it looks like the other 2 are his alts in the description there. Yeah, so well, I just gave a sub to the main channel, and I'll check it out.
Yeah, no, and he just confirmed for us it's just at Tardvark for my main.
Got it.
Yeah, no, great guy. But yeah, no, I just found the Florida Pride organizers pulling out of that event over there because they're like, oh my gosh, God forbid we can't have the drag queen stuff.
Right. Well, I mean, it's just like after the Louisville shooting, the day of rage that was supposed to be or the day of vengeance that they were supposed to be having in DC. The promoters of that cancel it and say, because everybody was criticizing them, but they claim the reason they cancel it is for public safety because they had received threats or this and that. No, you canceled it because one of your Looney Tunes just shot up a Christian school.
Exactly. And you know what's freaking hilarious? I can't find a single instance. Like, people will bring up, oh well, LGBT clubs have been targeted and stuff like that. Whether they were done by radical Muslims or random individuals or what have you. I've yet to see an ideologically motivated mass casualty event perpetrated by a Christian that targeted specifically the trans identifying community. I've yet
No.
to see one.
Do you know what trans people die when they start talking about the murder rate of trans people? The trans people that die are Black trans females, biological males pretending to be women that are engaged in prostitution.
I knew exactly where you were going with that. And
that's where the violence towards trans people is. And you know who does it? Other black men.
Well, yeah,
black men.
It's Johns in general.
Right.
Because that homicide rate juxtaposed to your run-of-the-mill streetwalker homicide rate, it's synonymous.
Yeah.
It's 1 and 1.
I mean, come on, man. How many true crime videos have you seen about the the serial killer, cruising the strip in the local town to get the hooker.
Well, yeah, well,
Like,
you look at individuals like, John Wayne Gacy was big on picking up streetwalkers while he picked up male streetwalkers.
right.
Um, well, didn't Ted Bundy snag some streetwalkers from time to time?
I think he might have had one or two, but he really liked to
He was a
up close
seducer.
and personal. Yeah, he
Yeah,
liked
yeah.
to
John Wayne Gacy, though, I think a majority of John Wayne Gacy's victims were streetwalkers, male streetwalkers.
Dahmer's. A lot of his were male prostitutes.
Yeah, and it. I'm not saying that it is good to target streetwalkers with violence. Uh, it's just that profession.
Hookers aren't people.
Yeah, well, that that profession has the tendency to attract the worst of society, the consumers of that, you know, uh, uh, whatever you want to call it, product,
Yeah.
are genuinely not good people. They are not well balanced people. They're not all right in the head. So
Yeah.
you have to be cognizant of who you're marketing to.
Yeah, and
If
not
you
at
are a
not at that level.
streetwalker,
Not at the street level. Like, yeah, sure, you get like some rich guys that just, you know, pay for it so that the woman leaves and they don't have to worry about being me too'd or something like that. Like, I get that, but those are like high dollar escorts in normally legalized establishments and stuff like that. Like, if you're out there walking the track, like, let's be honest, you're looking for your next fix.
well, yeah. I mean, there are so many caveats associated with street walking, and so yeah, when people bring up like, oh my goodness, yeah, the Troon homicide rate is so just astronomical, and it's
It's
like,
as
yeah, largely because a handful of them, particularly the more outspoken
a
ones,
large portion of them are in the into sex work.
yeah, yeah,
It's an extraordinary high amount.
yeah, and of course you'll have some people say, well, the reason they are into sex work is because they're not able to get legitimate employment. And my retort to that is usually bullshit. It's complete and utter bullshit because typically, like troons, like particularly the male to female troons, they are hyper sexualized individuals. They are folks that get off on the autogynephilia
Yep.
of their efforts.
It's
They
it's erotic for them to literally be in public appearing that way. But so hot take, as whatever as the male to females are, my opinion, the issue we're seeing with today, the people that are actually pushing a lot of this other stuff and the whole trans agenda are the female to males.
Yeah,
That
which is so odd because you don't see a lot of female to males trying to get into men's prisons. You don't
no,
see female to males trying to get into men's sports. You don't see trans men in the NFL. You don't see
right.
trans men trying to get into the NBA. You don't see trans men trying to get into a men's prison. Whilst they may be the most vocal for, the you know uh, uh,
Well,
ambiguous and absurd notion of trans rights.
well, they're the most radical, and it really just stems. It's another branch of radical intersectional feminism, man. All of
Yeah,
it.
and I find it completely absurd because whilst they may be the squeaky wheel, ironically, they are going to result in genuine bona fide women being harmed based upon their rantings. Recently,
Yeah, they don't
early
care.
this yeah, early this month when I went to go visit my gal, she's in prison,
Right.
and I noticed that there were obviously biological females in the visitation room that were doing their damnedest to present as male. One even had, very rudimentary facial hair. But they're not trying to get into men's prisons. They want to be in the women's prison.
Of course.
They don't want to be in the men's one.
Of course.
Because it would be all bad. It'd be all bad for them.
All the grape.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that there would be so much graping, they would turn into California raisins.
They'd
Uh,
make Oz look like a documentary.
And I'm not saying that, like, the concept of grape is funny, but the biological women know that that would happen. That's why they're not trying to get into the men's prisons. That's
Exactly.
why they're not trying to get into the men's homeless shelters.
Can I give you a little insight though? Because they're not trying to get into the men's prisons, that's why the men are pretending to be women to get into women's prisons.
Oh yeah, no, like
Because
me and my buddy Casey.
grapists want a grape.
Yeah, me and my buddy Casey, we were laughing about this a couple of weeks ago because we did time together,
Right.
and we were sharing a laugh. Like, if we knew that we could just be like, "Yeah, I'm a lady," and get into the women's prison, yeah, we probably would have done it too.
Deuces.
like,
Deuces.
obviously, him and I, we wouldn't go in there with nefarious intent to enact violence against anybody. We would just try to make friendships. And
Yeah,
see
friendships.
real
sloppy toppy ones.
Yeah, friends with the cellies.
Yeah.
Make sure there was some modicum of consensual actions.
Exactly.
But they're the men that are doing the dress up to get into the women's prisons. Those are really concerning individuals. The folks that are trying to self-identify their way, and it's already happening in California.
And look, at the end of the day, this whole conversation is super nuanced, because if fucking Blair White got arrested, I'd want her to go to a female prison. Like, there are some of these men that truly are like, there's I don't know, there's a finish line.
I think that the only way to make it even and fair and reasonable, it's got to be genitalia based. It just has to.
That's fair.
Now,
That's fair.
if somebody,
But that being said, Blair hasn't done the bottom surgery.
Yeah,
and isn't gonna, because it's pointless.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I don't think Blair White is going to go to prison anytime
Exactly.
But that being said, it's like there has to be some objective standard. And if somebody has gone so far as to give themselves an axe wound down there, then sure, yeah, go to ladies' prison, because your artillery has been dismantled. Whereas, like I said, we do not have an existential crisis of women trying to get in the men's prison. That's why I'm not even having that conversation,
Right.
because it's not happening. I've yet to hear of a case of a biological woman trying to force herself into a man's prison. I haven't heard it yet. Have you? If you can find a story, great, but I haven't heard it yet.
It's not there.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
So, yeah. Hey, I want to take a second real quick. I don't know if you got a beer with you or not. I know sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But I want to give you a shout out. It was a pleasure to finish off my birthday on your stream. So,
wait, hold on. Can you entertain the crowd for me for a little bit, because I'll go ahead and get myself an adult beverage.
Sure. What's up, crowd? I'm Grifty. I'm gonna grift for a second. Check out my Rumble channel at Grifty. I got a locals at Grifty, and I am on YouTube at Grifty. Twitter's at Grifty IRL. Rumble is my main outlet. I am only streaming to Rumble from now on. YouTube is going to be my clip channel, and if anyone wants to actually join my locals, it's still free. I'm not charging anything for it, but it's there. So, but Rumble is location number one to catch me streaming. And then, like I said, I'll pull clips and send them to YouTube. But I'm done fucking around with YouTube. It's ridiculous. I think it's going to crash. I think Rumble is pulling people that can actually make stuff happen. And that's where I'm putting my eggs in that basket to move forward for my live streaming. So, like I said, check out my Rumble channel at Grifty. So, there it is.
Hey, man. All right. I think that's fair.
There you go.
All right. Goodness gracious. Here's to not yet being monetized on YouTube.
There you go. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Again, I was just telling the audience to check out my Rumble, because I'm only streaming to Rumble from now on. I'm not on my channels. I'm not doing any YouTube streams. I'll clip from my streams off Rumble, and I'll put clips on my YouTube channel to kind of use their algorithm to try to gain an audience with shorts and videos and stuff like that. But all my live streams are going to go to Rumble. I don't want to play this bullshit with YouTube. And Rumble, you're monetized off the bat.
Yeah, no, I want to play the game with YouTube and see how far I can take it, number one, because you know my rationale. I want to get to the normies. I want to radicalize as many people as I can. That's the thing. Like, I'm not
but I think the normies are coming to Rumble too at this point. So like Rumble, hey, thanks, Tardvart. Cheers to you too, sir.
Cheers to you, good sir.
Yeah, and you too, Raymond. But yeah, I think so. Obviously, the political right, the social dissidents, the shitlords of the internet, you know, Rumble's an obvious home for them because they are, you know, free speech. They let you say what the hell you want. But they're starting to pull big people like that are not in the culture sphere, large gamers that are getting banned from Twitch.
Gamers who say the gamer word?
No, it wasn't even over the gamer word. It was I mean, you can on Rumble, you can say whatever you want.
You can say the gamer word?
You can say all the gamer words. The F one, the N one, the K one, all of them.
Dude, what is it? What was that Beatle that did that gamer word song? What was it? John Lennon, I think it was, where he had a song that was called "Woman is the Gamer of the World."
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they disabled comments for that on YouTube. Like there's a music video for it, and they disabled the comments for it. Because people were commenting like, "Oh, dude, John Lennon was a gamer."
Yeah, that's the worst. You know you've lost if you turn your comments off on your videos.
Oh yeah. Well, there was another song called "Rock and Roll Gamer." You know, an old song from, I think it was like late 70s, early 80s, it was also covered by Marilyn Manson in the early 90s. But the original version that was "Rock and Roll Gamer," that also had comments turned off.
Jesus.
Which
Wow.
by the way, you know, for those who are seeing this on live stream, whether you're because by the way, Grifty, not only I'm doing it live on YouTube, but I'm also doing it live on my Facebook.
Okay.
So for those that are watching on either or platform, the word gamer does not actually mean gamer. Think of a word
Joggers.
With the letter
Joggers.
N, starts with the letter N and ends with a hard R. That is the gamer word. We can't say that on YouTube. We certainly can't say it on Facebook. But
nice young joggers in Timberlands in job sites at 3 a.m.
Yeah, no, it's
jogging.
They're
just
the
jogging.
bad word that is referenced in the movie Roots a lot, or the miniseries, I should say. So one thing, another topic I wanted to bring up. You know, by the way, what do you think of my live streaming capabilities now? Now that I got these little I got these little chyrons, man. Look at
I
that, dude.
see them. I see
I
them.
got
You got your
chyrons,
banners in there. I see them.
dude. I'm going places, man.
There you go.
Uh,
Did you get a stream deck?
you
Or
know,
you? Or,
I got I got a special, StreamYard type of thing, and I've also learned that I make typos. So let me go ahead and fix my Chiron right there.
there you go.
Uh, so now, uh, yeah, no, I got the premium StreamYard. I'm official like a referee's whistle. So former CIA chief testifies that the Biden campaign orchestrated the letter from the 50 intel officials who falsely claimed the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation. Like, holy hell. Like,
I'm not shocked. Like
well, I mean,
this stuff doesn't even. I'm so black pilled when it comes to the actual fucking government and the Biden administration, Obama 3.0, whatever you want to fucking call it. Yeah, I'm just so black pilled on the whole thing. Nothing's gonna fucking happen. We've had evidence of their crimes since what, late 2019, early 2020, before the last election, when the Hunter laptop stuff started coming out.
well, yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, the FBI has had
we've
the
known
laptop for years.
yeah, we've known about their crimes. Nothing fucking happens. And more just keeps coming out, and nothing's gonna fucking happen. Do you know why? Because Hunter Biden's lawyer's former partner is now the head of the criminal investigation unit at the DOJ.
All right, so get this. All right, we're going to take a look at this article by Post Millennial, which they do great reporting. So the House Judiciary Committee this past Thursday dropped a letter addressed to Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, revealing that the basis upon which the claim that stories concerning Hunter Biden's laptop from hell were Russian disinformation were prompted by the Biden campaign and Blinken himself. So that's a big revelation right there.
Got it. Hey,
Someone within
let me cut you off real quick. I gotta let my dogs out.
Oh
Give me
man, who let the dogs out?
yeah, they're scratching at the door. I don't want them to wake my fiance up. So
Yeah,
give me a couple minutes to let them out, and I'll be right back.
yeah, no, by all means, man.
I'll listen to what you're talking about, so I can jump right back in when I come back on my headset while I'm outside. So
All
you
right,
can keep cruising.
all right. So, folks, check this out because this is world class stuff. All right. Uh, so the false claim that the laptop was Russian disinformation was repeated ad nauseum by Biden allies like Jen Psaki, according to the article, who became the first press secretary under the administration, and the claim was based on a letter signed by 50 former members of the intelligence community. And that letter was organized by former CIA Director Mike Morell, who did so at the prompting of the Biden administration. So keep in mind the laptop from hell information. That story, which was initially dropped by the New York Post, came to light in October of 2020. So we're talking about approximately a few weeks before the election that transpired, and the Biden campaign just gathered around all these intel officials to say that the Hunter Biden laptop was fake. It was Russian disinformation. Keep in mind, the actual physical laptop was in the possession of the FBI at the time, and it had been in the possession of the FBI for years before that story ever came to light. They knew it. The FBI knew it was real. And these people, they knew it were real. And the Biden campaign, not even the administration, the Biden campaign, before he was ever elected to office, got a hold of all these officials to spread a disinformation campaign about Hunter Biden's son, or Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, because there was so much damaging information about Hunter Biden on there. I mean, you have the copious amounts of photos and videos depicting of him uh, using illegal substances, being engaged with women of a questionable age. You have these emails that implicate Hunter Biden was involved in some weird business dealings abroad, with don't forget 10% for the big guy, which it is implied that the big guy is Hunter Biden's father. I mean, just so many things associated with that laptop. And these Intel officials were saying, "Oh, you want to know something? You want to know something? It was all fake. It was all fake." And in reality, number one, it was all real. And now we learn that the Biden campaign corralled these people to say these ostensibly outright false things about the Biden laptop. And also keep in mind, District Attorney Alvin Bragg out of Manhattan, he's currently prosecuting former President Donald Trump um, under felony charges for, these alleged hush money payments to Stormy Daniels, which Alvin Bragg is claiming they are a felony because they violated, campaign finance laws and defrauded voters, uh, because they were not able to get the full grasp, the full picture of Donald Trump and perhaps some of the negative aspects about his character. So you have a former president being currently prosecuted for, bad tax filings, being upgraded to a felony because the Manhattan DA believes that they are federal election crimes, which obviously he can't really technically prosecute anyway, uh, but asserting that they are federal election crimes and were crimes meant to defraud voters. At the same time, you have the epitome of a political campaign attempting to defraud voters by spreading out the most obscene form of organized propaganda that I've ever seen in a political campaign. Uh, furthermore, uh, the insanity of having a former president, prosecuted over process crimes and then elevated to felonies over something that they really can't even be prosecuted over in that jurisdiction, and then have the current administration flagrantly operate in such a fashion, or have it be shown that they operated in such a fashion, and then have nothing happen. Like, I'm befuddled as to why Hunter Biden isn't in handcuffs. The man has arguably committed an amalgamation of crimes. At the very least, we have the background of the firearm offense that he reasonably committed, where he lied on the background paperwork for a firearm and then dumped a firearm in a garbage can. Like, if you or I did that, if you or I did a modicon
Wait,
of what Hunter Biden
where
did,
where do
we'd
you
be
put your firearms? Well, you don't have firearms. But
yeah,
I put mine in trash cans by elementary schools all the time. It's like hide and seek. Fucking retard. That motherfucker.
so how much did you catch of my rant, by the way?
I caught it. I caught it. You were tearing them up. Sorry, I didn't mean to throw you off there. It seemed like a good timing for a joke. It was funny.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, if you or I did a modicon, like all these people like want to bring in, like, oh man, Trump did all these things. If Trump did as many bad things as people allude to, he wouldn't be getting prosecuted in Manhattan for a process crime related to tax filings.
Well, I mean, let's
Like,
be honest. The man has been under investigation since 2015.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
we
and
we
don't get me
know
wrong,
this. Like we know this. There were
he could have
FISA
very well,
warrants submitted in 2015
yeah,
to
he could have
surveil
very
him.
well violated these process crimes. If he did, like, okay, then he violated the process crimes. I'm not going to lose any sleep over him getting in trouble for a process crime if he legitimately did it. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that.
I will, because it's still like the statute of limitations is expired
Well, yeah,
on on
there's that,
on
but
on the misdemeanors.
that's why they're treating it as a felony.
The only reason they're able to prosecute this is because they're trying to link it to a federal crime that federal prosecutors refuse to prosecute.
Yeah,
Just to circumvent the statute of limitations. So I mean, it's bullshit. No matter which way, no matter which way you cut it, it's bullshit. And that's a really, I don't think people quite understand, like, the God. I'm gonna be that cliche Tim Pool YouTuber that says, like, they crossed the Rubicon, but seriously, like, I know I'm fucking cringe. My bad. But it's true. Like that's a point, like they're edging up to a point of no return. You if they go through with this thing, the damage that will be done, because he'll be convicted. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No Manhattan jury. And unless they move it upstate, now New York does transfer venue for police shootings out of the city. Most of those are tried up in Albany. Um, so there's precedent for a change of venue. He's requesting a change of venue. He wants to go just right across the river, because he's in Manhattan right now, and he wants to go to Staten Island. He wants it tried in Staten Island because Staten Island's like a 50-50 split, Democrats and Republicans. So then he has a chance of getting a jury that's got someone that isn't going to convict him no matter how the trial goes.
yeah,
But in Manhattan, it's like 99-1 Democrats. Like, there's no way he's getting a sympathetic vote on that jury if they try him in Manhattan. They're going to try him, they're going to convict him, and they're going to try to jail a former president of the United States of America. If that happens,
and my thoughts are, if this comes to fruition, insofar that I'm not as convinced as you are that we're going to see a conviction based upon how Alvin Bragg. Okay, well, let me say this: we may see Trump get convicted, but I think it's going to be tied up in the courts post conviction, and I think that may be the strategy of Bragg and perhaps the strategy of Democrats is to keep
I
Trump tied up in the courts.
don't know
Because
about that.
well, no, if Trump gets convicted, what is he going to do? He's going to appeal the
Correct.
conviction based upon shoddy application of the law and jurisdictional violations.
Correct.
Yeah,
But
and so what is it going to do?
but
It's going to go to the state
hold
Supreme
on.
Court.
You've been in the system. Hold on. You've been in the system. Does filing an appeal automatically postpone your sentence? It does not.
Sometimes,
No,
sometimes,
it's not automatic. You have to file a motion to receive bail pending appeal,
yeah.
and the judge
And
the judge has to grant it.
yeah, and it
This judge
depends.
isn't doing that.
Well, it depends on on how high profile the case is. Well, let me ask you this: the Smollett case, Jussie Smollett. What state
Mhm.
was that conducted out of?
Illinois.
Illinois. Okay. Do you know he was able to complain his way out of jail?
Exactly.
Yeah. If Jussie Smollett can just complain his way out of jail, I think Trump can be held out on bond pending appeal. If
Oh, that's fucking apples to pomegranates, dude. It's it's Jussie Smollett in Chicago. He has Michelle Obama on speed dial. That's the Obama's like kingdom is Chicago. Like everything is in his favor there.
yeah,
He
no,
is he is not Donald Trump in Manhattan.
yeah, no, I highly suspect that if an appeal were in the works, which an appeal would happen if a conviction transpires,
For
it would
sure.
be it would be in the best interest of Manhattan to grant bail pending appeal. And I think they would know that. Yeah, they could absolutely flex. They could flex, you know, but I don't think that would be good for the city.
Well, let
You,
me
you know
ask
what I
you
mean?
this. Do you think it's good for the city that they indicted him?
I think an indictment is a lot more different than a conviction because people look at the indictment, they're like, ah, the indictment's BS. But what is an indictment? An indictment is an indictment because it's something that, it's a show of power, but it's not necessarily the straw that will break the camel's back. I think a conviction out of Manhattan and an immediate remanding into custody thereafter, based upon the circumstances of the case and the fact that the case, it's an illegal case to prosecute
Agreed.
on the manner and merits.
Agreed.
Uh,
I
it's a
everything I
completely
said
illegal
is
case. Like,
everything I said is based on if it goes to trial. I
yeah,
think Trump's only hope in this situation is he has to get this out of this judge's hands pre-trial. He has to get it um he
change of
has to
venue.
well,
Yeah.
not even. He needs a procedural appeal to go up to the state Supreme Court, and then he needs to get this to the federal Supreme Court.
Well, yeah. Well, and I think there is good ammunition to get this out of the judge's hands. Like, for instance, the fact that the judge's daughter was a Democrat, official Democratic Party campaign staffer.
That doesn't mean anything. CNN told me so.
It
Why
will
why
obviously.
why are you such a sexist bigot that you think just because his female daughter worked for the female vice president that means he can't rule fairly on this case?
Yeah, no, no. Like, yeah. Obviously, we can't make those types of assumptions.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
but then
fucking
again,
ridiculous.
you know how I feel, man. Like, you know how I feel about the ladies, or maybe you don't. No, I don't know, man. I've got all sorts of opinions when it comes to ladies. I'd like a refund on the 19th Amendment. Uh,
I want a refund on every amendment that changed it from when you had to be a property owner to vote. I don't care about the race of people who vote. I don't care about the gender of people who vote. But I think either you should have to own property or have a non negative tax liability at the end of the year to vote. I don't think if you're not paying taxes and you're living off welfare that you should be allowed to go vote for your own pay increases.
yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm going to even take it a step further. I believe all reformed convicts, i.e., people who spent time in prison and are no longer in prison, I think they should all get their gun rights back. I think they should all be strapped up.
Yeah, oh,
Uh,
I agree. I think when you've paid your debts to society, I think there's probably constitutional grounds there to push.
oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, big time. I mean, I absolutely cannot stand uh, laws that prohibit uh, reformed felons from getting their gun rights back. I think they're ridiculous, and I think bootlickers that are like, "Oh man, they're a prohibited possessor," and it's like when I deal with those people that say dumb shit like, oh, my prohibited possessor, they were a felon. I just want to look at those people and tell them to shut the fuck up. Like, I want to look
Or
at them and be like, shut the fuck up with your boot licking ass. You know, why is my life less important than yours? Fuck you.
I
Like,
feel the same way about people who get charged with, illegal concealment or, transporting a firearm in the wrong manner or something like that. I think all of that stuff, including, felons who have. Now you got to be clear of the system. You gotta do your time. You got to do your probation. You got to pay your restitution. But once you do those things, and you've actually paid your debt to society. Like that phrase means something.
yeah.
You by committing a crime, you accrued a debt to society. You cost money in legal bills, in incarceration bills, which not even so much anymore because they charge you to be in jail nowadays. Um it so you did accrue a debt. I'm so anarcho-capitalist, it's not funny. So like it all comes down to economics and stuff like that to me. So yes, there is a debt. There's a financial and I don't know the word, but punitive.
Financial,
There's a
yeah,
financial and a punitive cost
yeah.
to breaking a law and getting caught for it. But once those costs have been paid, you've done your prison sentence, you've finished your parole and probation, you did your halfway house when you came out, you did whatever community service or restitution you had to pay, and you are free and clear of everything. Then yeah, I absolutely believe you should have your rights back. I think if they want to now, if you got convicted of armed robbery, strong arm robbery with an injury because you pistol whipped somebody or you shot somebody or there's some sort of violent
Yeah, no,
attack.
I don't even agree with that.
Well, hold on. I don't think it should be automatic. I think there should be an option during sentencing with aggravating factors to request that their rights be stripped at trial with due process. But
Well, my thoughts are like
but it
you
has to
are,
be on a case by case basis.
well, even on that case by case basis. So the thought process behind that would be there is a genuine public safety concern that an individual is likely to recommit a violent offense, and that's why we have to restrict their firearm rights.
Right.
If therein lies that genuine public safety concern, why are you releasing them into the public?
Well, I agree.
If you can't trust them with a gun, why'd you let them out in the first place? Because they don't
agree.
need a gun to commit violence.
That's this I agree on, but we're not that ship sailed.
Yeah,
The
no,
the the
that's
19 the
why I always
1994
bring that up.
Joe
Uh,
Biden's best piece of legislation, the 94 crime bill. Um it, we're not putting Pandora's box back together on that one. Like it did what it was supposed to. It got crime down, and the three strikes laws and stuff like that. Like we're not going backwards anytime soon. I don't see it happening. So with that being said, and knowing how these judges, so here, I guess here's my thought process on it. Liberal judge on the bench, violent criminal convicted. The liberal judge is going to be prone to give a light sentence to the violent criminal because they hate incarcerating people, but they also hate guns. So if they're not going to put the person in prison for the time that they deserve to be in prison, then it'd be nice to at least file a motion behind it to say, hey, Your Honor, this guy has the requisite aggravating factors, we would like his Second Amendment rights to be stripped, henceforth. And I think there should probably be a way for that person 20 years down the road, after they've done their time and been out for 10 years and haven't recommitted, become a productive member of society, then they should be able to petition to have their case reheard and maybe have that qualifier dropped from their conviction or something. But it just seems to me a way to at least safeguard the fact that known violent offenders that the legal system is putting back on the street way too soon, there's still a way that we can allow felons who actually pay their nonviolent felons who pay their debt to get their rights back, but still prevent those violent felons who have shown, a propensity for violence, a high recidivism rate. Those people should probably not be allowed to buy a gun.
I can understand the repeat offender type of thing. I can kind of understand that. I'm just saying, for folks that did their time, they got out, and if the state has deemed they're free and clear to go back into society, they should get their gun rights back. Because
they should get all their rights back.
Yeah. Because I had to apply for my voting rights back,
right,
which I was able to do that. I cannot get my firearm rights back. I can't, because I was convicted of a dangerous crime.
Got it.
But, at the same time, the state of Arizona said, okay, you're safe to go back into society, in 4 years, 3 months time, out of a 5-year sentence.
Well, and here's the other thing. If you're going to let them vote, you might as well let them have a gun, because voting's more dangerous than a gun.
Well, yeah. But, at the same time, what I think is so absurd is, the rationale for me not being able to legally purchase a firearm is, what if I go and do something dangerous with it? For instance, I could go to the gas station, get myself some gasoline, a bit of some petroleum jelly, and I can make some fiery lip balm. You know what I mean? What I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I will not be on anybody's register when I do that, especially if I pay for it with cash. They'll never know. And I can cause ostensibly 10 times more damage.
Make sure you wear your COVID mask.
With my fiery lip balm. The dangerous chapstick. Let's call it that.
Right.
Because I don't want to use that N-word on here because I don't want the stream nuked. I find that's what I find hilarious in all the matter. Like, I could recreate
Vietnamese Sky Surprise.
Yeah, no, I could recreate an Ariana Grande concert.
Oh my God.
The concert would be the bomb. I mean, if I really wanted to, if that was my modus operandi, like if that was something I wanted to do, I could do it.
Spicy.
Well, I mean, that's the God's honest truth.
Exactly. I mean, it's true.
Firearm restrictions so freaking stupid.
They're retarded.
So stupid. People who are intent on enacting harm and perpetrating mass casualty events, they're going to do it. They are just going to do it. They will be able to do it. And there's arguably not a lot you can do to prevent a lot of these mass casualty events. There are some things you can do, but the ones that are stopped before they transpire, man, that's like a freaking coin toss.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
There's a lot you can do. Mandatory sidearm training with driver's ed. Government subsidies for low income Berettas.
They should do a tax write-off, a tax break for
like I'm saying
for certain BMIs, so that way you can run away quick.
There you go. Like all I'm saying is, if I live in the ghetto and I'm getting $1,000 a month in food stamps, and I want to not eat steak and shrimp every night that month and actually eat like a poor person for a month and use those food stamps on a gun, I think that should be allowed.
Hell yeah.
Because I live in the ghetto. It's the most dangerous area. And you want to stop the crime in the ghetto? Give the law-abiding citizens guns. That's how you stop the crime in the ghetto. Yeah, they're gonna print a few more T-shirts that summer.
Oh
But
gosh, I one time I got suspended off of Facebook. Like I got a Facebook suspension for like 30 days because there was somebody, flinging like, obtuse, coded violent threats in my
right,
direction. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this, that, the other thing. What are you gonna do if you do it? And so all like, and they were asking for my address like a freaking weirdo. What's your address? What's your address? What's your addy? Huh? 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 So I told him like, I told him like, dude, if I give you my address, like, I have no issue doing that. I'll give it to you, but just know that if you come over here, you're gonna wind up on a T-shirt being worn by your family members. And I got a 30-day suspension from Facebook.
Nice. I'm so glad you got that reference.
like your family members are going to be wearing a T-shirt of you saying "Justice for fucking retard."
Yeah, but see, if you give it to the poor black people in the projects that are law-abiding citizens that are either there from poor life decisions or limited opportunities or whatever like that, and you allow them to start defending themselves, yeah, like the T-shirt business is going to boom for a little while, but they're going to get this shit cleaned up. Like I grew up in Baltimore, South Baltimore, Brooklyn Park area. Like I'm telling you, the people that go rob people, mug people, break into buildings, any level of crime, they're doing it in a place where they know they're not going to turn a corner and be looking at someone looking down the barrel of a firearm. It's the number one thing they look for, except maybe dogs.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey man, I'm trying to remember what is your Twitter handle at Grifty?
Grifty IRL on Twitter.
Grifty IRL. Let me see. All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of a favor for you. Follow Grifty on. I'm trying to make use of these chyrons.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I actually, if the Chiron's not, you took banners down. If the banners were still up, my banner has my Twitter on it normally.
Yeah, no, see, look at that. Follow Grifty on Twitter, Grifty
There you
IRL.
go.
And by the way, I'm gonna go. I am a water consuming heathen. I drink a lot of water. So I'm gonna go get some more water. So why don't you guys go? Do me a favor.
I drink America flavored Russian water.
Oh, I know. I drink I drink a shitload of water, man. It's something, man.
It's good for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm prone to kidney stones, so it's something. Yeah.
Fuck
so
that.
I'll be right back.
All right. What's up, guys? Oh, Greg didn't give me the screen. I can't put anything up. So no, make sure you guys are subbed to Greg. Hit that like button, share this thing out. We're two small content creators trying to hit the scene running and get some wind in our sails heading into this next crazy election cycle. Political commentary, culture war stuff. I've known Greg since the Eliza Blue stuff, and I can tell you, you know, not to toot our own horn, but we're probably two of the more based, newer content creators kind of trying to come up on the scene. We don't pull our punches. It is what it is. So that's why I'm streaming to Rumble only, because I get a little spicy sometimes.
Apparently, Mr. Duncan found the comment of liable to wind up on a t-shirt entertaining. And yes, but just an FYI, Mr. Duncan, if you happen to be on Facebook, that comment will get you in trouble on there. I wonder if smoking on Facebook will get me in trouble, because this is live streaming to Facebook right now.
Yeah, I don't know about Facebook. So you're good on YouTube as long as you're not monetized.
Yeah, I'm not monetized yet. That's the hope. Because like I know you've already expressed your desire to go to Rumble. I want to take as much of their money as I fucking can. I want to take their money. I want it. It's their money. I want to take it. And I want to take their money while I radicalize people.
Can I black pill you on YouTube though? So what are the requirements on YouTube to get monetized? You got to have 1,000 subs.
Yeah. 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours.
4,000 watch time.
Yeah.
On the pace you're at, you should be pushing that by the end of the year.
I'm already close to. Well, no, I'm past the hours time frame. I already got the in excess of 4,000 hours. I just need the subs at this point.
But you're shadow banned as hell already.
Yeah, I am.
So
except for that one video that randomly got like 20K, 21K views. Like
you did. Week. You caught some algo with that one.
Yeah, no. So that's what I got to do. I got to ride the algo wave sometimes.
But even then, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get your 1,000 subs. You're going to get your watch time. You're going to do everything you got to do to, two-factor authentication, all that other stuff. And then that final step before you get into the partner program is they review your content to see if you are qualified. I got to ask you, Greg, do you think when YouTube reviews your content, they're going to find it worthy of the partner program? Are you going to be a good ambassador of YouTube's corporate values and mission statement?
Oh, fuck yeah. You goddamn right it will be.
I'm just saying. It, I don't know. I sat back and I looked at it, and I just think Rumble's where it's going to be. I think going into this next election, I think YouTube's going to drop the ban hammer on everybody. I think they're going to do everything they can to put their finger on the scale, and I think it's going to be like a bigger exodus than the fucking Jews running from Pharaoh.
I'm betting on the likelihood that my channel, while there may be somebody that may look at something to some degree or another, somebody's going to look at it in some way, shape, or form. My hope is that somebody just hits approve and doesn't spend that much time. I've worked in IT for years before, and I know how certain things transpire. Whilst I know I am controversial in my own right, I know that I have not made proverbial waves on the platform that have upset people, because in comparison to what I actually say on this platform, it's pretty milquetoast compared to what some other people say. Even though I know where my heart lies. I know that I'm incredibly freaking based, and I have some really
So I get
unfriendly
that.
opinions on
I
things.
get that. But I think someone who's a long time, this is just personal opinion from my over excessive watching of YouTube and paying attention to algorithm stuff and stuff like that. So I think someone like a Quartering or a Nick Ricada or someone like that that's got a ton of subs, they get away with stuff that you and I would never get away with under 1,000 subs.
Well, Quartering self-censors a lot. He self-censors. He's very
He
meticulous about self-censoring.
So he doesn't necessarily, I wouldn't say he self censors. I would say he self edits like we've been doing by saying graping or, you know, jogger or gamer word or, the same way we're doing those things. He does those things, but he's really good at it. He's really good. He one takes those things.
Yeah, no, like the thing I gotta, like I know that YouTube's not a huge fan of the word retarded, and I know like Facebook isn't either. It's just something I say. I don't care. It's
Yeah,
so funny. Like they're more lenient on the word fuck. I could be like, oh man, that's fucking stupid, but you say say something that's fucking retarded, and they're like, oh man, you're being ableist. It's like you're goddamn right. I'm being ableist. I'm ableist as all shit.
yeah, that retarded's been canceled. That word's been canceled. You're not allowed to use that anymore. You fucking bigot.
Well, yeah, well, like I can't stand the term ableist. Like you're being ableist. Yeah, I don't want I'm not going to hire a person in a wheelchair to fix my roof. Yeah, I'm ableist. Like,
Right to jail. You're not ADA compliant. You better hire that wheelchair and build him a ramp up to your roof.
like, it's the truth of the matter. But let's get on to some more gold, man, because we got gold. Teacher who's also an LGBT activist arrested for doing the R word to a 16-year-old boy. How did this happen? How did it happen? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
This never happens.
All right. While you read this, I'm going to smoke a cigarette because I need to get my blood pressure as low as it can be before I start going. So I'm putting my headphone in. I'm going to listen to you read this article. And then I'm going to listen to you get started while I smoke a cigarette. And then when I come back in, we're going to see how close to having a stroke I can get.
All right, so folks, check this out. An Idaho teacher and LGBT activist was arrested on charges of doing the R word to a 16-year-old boy. And again, how did this happen? This never happens. Whenever I hear about the bad R word happening to children, people are always making jokes about, oh my goodness, it's the church, it's the Vatican, the Catholic Church. Statistically, our children here in America are more likely to be harmed in this fashion by a public school employee than they are by a member of the church. Just an FYI. So we need to make like teacher jokes about this to become more commonplace. Because it is more common statistically. It happens thousands of times a year. All right. So dig this. An Idaho school teacher was arrested on suspicion of doing the R word to a 16-year-old boy, Eric McDermott, a 59-year-old man from Boise. He was booked in Ada County Jail on Monday on charges of the R word and, S word battery committed by lewd and lascivious acts on a minor child. So McDermott taught World Studies 8 and AP Human Geography and coached basketball at Fairmont Junior High School and was also an outspoken LGBT activist. Imagine my shock. Dude, where's Mel Gibson? Where's Mel Gibson right now? Because we need that Mel Gibson meme where it's like every fucking time. Every fucking time. All right, so according to a report from the Idaho Statesman, McDermott contacted the former student via a dating hookup site in 2020, and after sharing numerous nude photos of himself, took the teen back to his home and allegedly S-word assaulted the 16-year-old boy. This guy, pushing 60, decided to put the moves on a 16-year-old boy. A 16-year-old boy who was a former student, which means when you're hearing about former student, this man knew him when he was younger, before he was 16. Gross. I mean, even the fact that we were talking about a 59-year-old and a 16-year-old, or at the time of this offense was committed, he would have been ostensibly about 56. 56 and a 16-year-old. Ew, gross. But he arguably met him when the child was younger, because former student. The now former teacher is set to appear in court on April 27th and is currently being held on $1 million bail. Amazing. Amazing. Uh, as KTVB reports, Boise School District spokesman Dan Holler sent a my freaking mind. It baffles my mind that more people aren't discussing what it's not even a phenomenon, because it is just something that is very commonplace with teachers. But the fact that the person's he's one of those LGBT activists. Imagine my freaking shock. You know. Griffcast IRL. LOL. Every freaking time. Or he goes, ool. I don't know what ool means. OOL. I don't know. I don't know what that means. Maybe it was meant to be an LOL. It's hard to say without knowing for sure. But I mean, this story, it's freaking nuts. It's bonkers. You know. So following McDermott's arrest, the Idaho Tribune dug into his past and revealed that he had been a prominent LGBT activist. He volunteered with the Pride Foundation's Idaho Leadership Action Team and appeared in numerous photographs the organization published to social media. So he was in the photo ops. He was with the gang.
So, if I heard this right, he met this kid on, hey, what's up, DeFango? Thanks, buddy.
Yes, thank you, Griffcast IRL. Thank you, DeFango. Good people.
So he met this kid on a dating app?
Well, no, he was a former student.
Well, I know he was a former student, but
a hookup site.
On a hookup site. So, but then he raped him. Was it just statutory rape? So was this just some 16-year-old kid like hooking up with the old guy?
Yeah, that's what it appears to be. And statutory is the same as just the R word.
I agree. But I'm trying to figure out if he's going feet first or head first. Because I wasn't sure if it was forceful or not. Like if it wasn't forceful, good old Chippy he can go head first.
Yeah, there's nothing in the reports to imply that the action was forceful. but still, yeah.
Well, if you ask Yoel Roth, formerly of Twitter, he would think that this was perfectly appropriate because he wrote his whole master's thesis on minors should be able to use sites like Grinder.
Yeah, no, I
So
remember reading that thesis, and I was utterly disgusted by it. Just it
yeah,
was completely absurd.
yeah,
And
hang on.
yeah, Raymond Duncan saying, yeah, it was apparently a date. Um, it's still like, when I look at things like that, I understand there is a degree of autonomy that a 16-year-old can have. I'm not denying that. Um, but I don't think a 16-year-old has enough cognizance, festering in their underdeveloped brain to cognitively uh, uh, consent to a encounter with a 56-year-old individual.
No, no,
Yeah,
not at all. Not at all.
I
Like
mean that's
it's fucking gross, and it's just like we were talking about earlier with the women teachers. They're fucking kids. I don't care if they're men, if they're boys. It doesn't make it any better. Um, leave the fucking kids alone.
yeah, no, exactly. I'm going to make a new scrolling Chiron. I think we've done a great job with promoting your Twitter. So now I'm going to add a new banner. Uh, I don't know.
I take offense to that. I take
I,
offense to that.
I,
Your boy's got a few extra pounds there, buddy. Oh,
All right, cool. The dog shirt and the bad guys out. Have a good. Oh,
yeah.
come
It,
on, come
it
on.
is it
I
is what
love
it
you guys
is.
here.
It is what it is. I look. I'm not gonna rehash old wounds. Like it is what it is. I'm sorry he feels that way. I still to this day wish him nothing but success. I know he's been struggling with some algorithmic problems. I hope he can get that figured out and get his streams up to where they used to be. I still tune in. I don't comment. I don't interact anymore just because I'm not trying to stir shit up with his chat or him or anything like that. But it is what it is. I mean, I get why he's upset, and I'm sorry he feels that way. But you know, it. I never called him a doxer. I wouldn't do that, but I just different
Yeah, no,
tactics for different people. Like I said, not I don't want to rehash that stuff. It's old, and I wish nothing but the best for him. So
yeah, no. What is it? We've got Alexa saying,
hey,
"Hey, what's
what's
up?"
up, Alexa?
If I'm not mistaken, like I'm trying to be, I'm trying to fire off my brain pistons. I think that is LG.
It is. It is. Yes, that is LG. She has revealed herself to be Alexa.
Yeah, no, she is super nice. She is a sweet lady. Um,
Good people.
yeah, no, and the funny thing is, my initial interaction with her was not very good. But we were able to get past that, and we actually fostered, in my opinion, I think we fostered a really great rapport. Uh, she's a wonderful, wonderful lady. Uh, if I'm not mistaken, like at least based upon like the pictures that I've seen of her, you know, she's pretty easy on the eyes. She's a pretty gal. I'm just saying,
She said, "We cool swag." Yeah, no, No, Alexa's cool. She can hold her own. She's a big girl. She doesn't have thin skin, so you don't have. She can have a little spat with people and still be cool with them afterwards. Just watch how her and Sam interact all the time. So
All right, so we've got some additional gold to cover. Bud Light VP goes on leave and appears to have been replaced. Now, the interesting thing with this is I initially was going to share, a report like, oh, she went on leave. But that was when I was looking into it, I'd learned that word around town is she's already been replaced.
she has, yes. So they have appointed a new VP of marketing for Bud Light. They are adjusting or streamlining their marketing system so that upper management has a more direct line to current marketing campaigns. And she has been moved off brand is the words they chose to use to describe what she did. Because remember, Anheuser-Busch is part of InBev. It's a large conglomerate. So who knows where they've moved her? They might have moved her in the basement and took her swing line away. Or they're just gonna put her in charge of, like, I don't know, a more Troon friendly brand instead of Bud Light.
Well, what's that going to be? Shock Top?
Blue Moon.
So here's the tweet that I was referencing when I got the one of the more recent updates. Breaking in Beer Business Daily, management changes. Todd Allen appointed VP of Bud Light. So former Bud Light marketing VP Alyssa Heinerscheid, who was at that post for not quite a year, is off the brand. We understand she has decided to take a leave of absence. So an AB spokesperson released a statement that read, today we communicated some next steps with our internal teams and wholesaler partners. First, we made it clear that the safety and welfare of our employees and our partners is our top priority. Second, Todd Allen is appointed to vice president. We don't need to read the rest.
Yeah, no, they didn't make any. They didn't mince words. Like she's out, he's in. It's like, hey guys, we put in a straight white guy. Please like us again.
So first and foremost, Raymond first mentioned that this marketing campaign is going to haunt her for the rest of her life.
No, it's not.
Be a CNN announcer soon.
Yeah, no, it's the biggest boost to her fucking resume that she has. He's right there. She'll be at CNN soon.
Yeah. Yes, my marketing ideas cost them billions. That has to be one of the worst marketing snafus in the history of marketing. The fact that your marketing endeavor cost a company billions. But when we say billions, we're talking about market cap. All right, but really,
and most of that's recovered.
Yeah, but also all that is, people think that market prices reflect sales, and that is not the case. Market prices are 100% solely speculation. People
Correct.
are guessing what something is worth. It's speculative.
Correct.
In reality,
that was always the wrong metric for that boycott. Like, everybody, it was fun. It was fun when the stock was tanking for 3 days and they were down over 7% at one point in time. It was funny. Like, it was great to troll them with it, but that was never the right measuring stick
Yeah, no,
for
and
for it,
what
because
would be
again, because of the size of the company and the
yeah, what
number
would
of
be the
brands they
appropriate
control.
measuring stick is,
It's
you know,
sales.
well, yeah, because when I was working at SAP, um, and I was prospecting companies that I was trying to expand SAP in their company if they were an existing client of SAP, I would review their 10K reports, which, for those who are not familiar with, stock options, 10K reports are for those who are reports that public businesses have to release. And it details everything that's on the agenda, but also, most importantly, it details their profits and losses.
Yeah.
I would say to really stick to Bud Light, wait for their next 10K report. And when it details the profits and losses, particularly on a brand by brand breakdown, goodness gracious, I would not at all be surprised if Bud Light tanked a little bit.
Yeah, and that's the measurement that you need to use. And a good indicator that that's happening is these moving pieces in the background. Them making these changes, at the VP level and moving her out of the spotlight and moving someone else in tells me that when those P&Ls come out, we're going to see that there was some steep drop off in sales.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Goodness gracious. Grifty, my man. I know we didn't go as hard as we did the other night when we were on Waifu Cron. But we've been at this for almost 2 hours, dude.
Yeah, man.
So and I think we hit the targets, we hit the news topics of the day, and I think we had an amazing conversation. And I know it's super late over where you are, but I know I've got the follow Grifty on Twitter at Grifty IRL on the bottom. But where else can people follow you?
Rumble. At Grifty on Rumble. That's my number one top channel I'm going to be putting content out to. Like I said, you can follow me at Grifty on YouTube, Grifty on Locals. I'll put clips up, stuff like that. But if you want to catch the live streams, you want to catch the unfiltered, unselected, uncensored hot takes, Rumble's the only place to be, man.
Yeah, no, I do tend to agree that Rumble is a really, really good, really welcoming platform.
And
And
the UI is getting better. All right, look, everybody knows the fucking UI with Rumble sucked for a long time, particularly on mobile. They're way behind on their mobile. The desktop site is great. I mean, it's okay. It's not great. Let's not exaggerate. But the mobile app was really far behind. But they pushed a iPhone update a couple weeks ago, brought live chat to mobile. It allows you to run in the background now. It holds your place in a video if you leave the app to go do something else on your phone and come back in. But sorry, I was watching you over in chat there. Distracted me. Fucking, it's like, ooh, something shiny, squirrel. Fucking ADD, man, it's rough. But yeah, and the other day, like 2 days ago, they just pushed the Android update. So now Android also has the live chats on the app. Again, it can run in the background. It holds your spot when you leave and come back. So they're constantly improving. You got great content creators over there. Russell Brand, Steven Crowder, Nick Ricada, Fresh and Fit, Salty Cracker. These guys are all driving the numbers up. They're pulling big gamers, and
well, even Greenwald's on there too, right?
yep. Glenn Greenwald's over there, Viva Barnes. I mean, it's I'm telling you, going into the next election cycle, it's gonna be the place to be, along with, hopefully Elon's Twitter. Like I said, it's not perfect by any means, but anybody that thinks that Twitter nowadays isn't better than old Twitter, you you you're flat lying to yourself. You're a utopian who wants it to be perfect, and you're letting perfection get in the way of the good.
Yeah, no,
So
exactly. I mean, Elon let me back on, and I'd have been banned for a long time on
right,
there. So he let me
right.
back on. So if he lets me on, man, if he lets me get away with saying the shit that I do, most of you guys are gonna be good on Twitter. Just saying.
Yeah, and they just removed their dead naming policy the other day, so we can talk about the athlete that was on the Wheaties box after being the greatest triathlete ever, and
You're talking about the individual who went from crossing finish lines to cross dressing.
correct, correct. Um, yeah. So the one that collected Robert Shapiro's, or not Shapiro, Robert Kardashian's sloppy seconds. That one.
Yeah. No, every time I hear Shapiro, like obviously I think of Ben Shapiro, but like the second thing I think of is Abby Shapiro.
Yeah,
Like Ben Shapiro's sisters, milkers. Good lord,
they're not
God,
bad.
good
They're not
lord.
bad.
Like,
So, but yeah, man. I just think those places. I think they have to shut the narrative down going into this election. Biden's America is going to shit. The economy's crashing. He's getting us into World War III. It's China's about to take over Taiwan. Like, the world's going to shit, and they're gonna do their best on YouTube and Facebook and the other still government run social media platforms to suppress that shit. So I just don't think I think it's going to be two steps forward and one step back on these platforms for the next 18 months. So I think Rumble and Twitter's where it's at. That's You got to stick with it, and you got to be the change you want to see in the world. So I'm tired of the censorship. I'm tired of walking on eggshells. I'm going to take my opinions to the platform that doesn't question that. So
yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. So one thing I promised to do, because I did promise to do a video today, which I think live streaming counts as a video. But I
yeah,
do, yeah, I do need to announce the two winners uh for the last contest I did for my subscribers. And this was like basically be an active subscriber, and comment on my video, which was the secondary thank you to subs, which I'm going to be sending out personalized gift boxes to these people. So these individuals, obviously, they may not be watching right now, and that's fine. I'll be reaching out to them personally, though. But the accounts that I chose in question, one was Mo's Moment.
hey, shout out Mo's Moment. Good job. Way to support Greg, man. Support independent content creators, and congratulations.
Yeah. So Mo's Moment was one, and the second was Eobard Fawn. So I'm gonna be reaching out to those two YouTube accounts for doing the Lord's work and being subscribed and commenting on that video. So I'll be reaching out to you guys, so that way I can get your address. And I get it. It's weird to hand out your address, but y'all wanted to do the game, so
Well,
I'm
there
gonna
you
need
go.
some kind of address, PO box or something like that, so that way I can get a gift box sent to you, and it's gonna be stuff from my personal collection. And it's gonna be fucking cool. It's gonna be
Well,
comic books. It's gonna be toys. It's
there
gonna
you
be all
go.
that cool stuff, man.
Congrats,
Uh,
Ebard, too. Congrats to both of you guys. That's awesome.
yeah,
So
yeah.
hey, I want to take a second and shout out Jared over there in the chat. That's Potato from Twitter. I don't know if you follow him, but definitely one of my
Potato on Twitter.
yeah, definitely one of my my buddies from Twitter. We definitely riff off each other a lot, and good people.
Hey, Jared, what's your Twitter handle so we can put it in the chat, so we can put it on the screen?
I think it's just potato. Like,
this is his Twitter handle. It's an emoji. His Twitter handle is I fuck around.
Yeah, it's just potato with some letters. If you search potato, you'll find him. That's so
we're spreading misinformation. By the way, I don't know if you noticed my new scrolling chyron that said stop being a degenerate.
Never. I will always be a degenerate. There you go.
All right, so Jared is sharing it right now. It is Potato JZ 38. So
yeah, he's one of the Twitter Spaces crew. We hang out in some spaces every once in a while, and always got well thought out opinions, particularly for a Canadian.
Yeah, no, I have no idea what his content is like on Twitter, but I'm going to tell all of you, follow him, especially if he's based. If he's based, follow with the shit out of him.
He's definitely based. He's not falling for any of the Troony Troon stuff. So
amazing. All right, well, I gotta say, I'm gonna bid you all adieu. Thank you so much, Grifty, for coming on, especially on short notice, man. I love talking to you.
Anytime. I love having you on. I'll have to have you on over on my channel sometime soon. So
yeah, no, we got to get it official. And Jared, I will always give you and others backhanded compliments. I assure you.
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
It will happen all the time. All right. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. For those who will see this after the fact, obviously, yes, this is going to be available for replays. Who knows? I might chop up and screw up some stuff and make some little video clips out of this.
That's how you got to do it.
Yeah. So again, I hope
all the way, man.
We're going to grift until the end. I don't know. But I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Y'all take care. All right. Peace.
All right.